Someone dying may look scary, but that doesn't necessarily mean their death wasn't peaceful. In this video, I'm going to talk about what a peaceful death actually means, what the person will actually look like. Movies have done us a disservice. Someone dying can still have a peaceful death, even if it looks a little scary. Let's get into it. First off, very few people, okay, are going to be laying in bed, fully talking, looking comfortable, da 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 da, I love you, honey, never forget me. Die. That's not how it goes, folks. That's never how it goes. Someone asked me once to do a video about like the best deaths I've seen that looked most realistic in movies. None of them. Truly. I don't think I've seen one that like makes a like death on hospice really seem real. Now I get it, it's the movies, there has to be some drama and things like that. And it's really hard to actually show how someone really looks because it's graphic, it can look scary. But again, all these things do not actually mean they're not having a peaceful death. Okay, so I'm done talking, let me explain why. The actively dying phase, which is the last phase of life, almost everyone, no matter what you're dying from, if you're dying a death on hospice, I don't mean this if you are dying from a gunshot wound or a motor vehicle accident, those can look a little different depending on how you're dying. But if you are dying a natural death on hospice, meaning you're dying from some disease, but you're allowing the natural progression to take over, this is how you're going to look. You will be fully unconscious. Your loved one is going to be fully unconscious. You could shake them and they don't wake up, okay? The thing that freaks people out all the time, their eyes and mouth are usually open, but they're not making eye contact. So it's a lot of like dead stare, right? And it freaks people out because it's like their loved one is not really home, okay? And it's because they're probably not. Their unconscious is offline. The comforting fact about this, I'm not trying to scare you, the whole point of this video is to be comforting. I'll get there, I promise. The reason why their eyes and mouth are open is because it takes muscle to close your eyes and keep your eyes shut. And it takes muscle to keep your mouth shut. At the end of life, especially during the actively dying phase, those muscles are so relaxed. Everything's relaxed. So relaxed that their mouth is gaping open. Sometimes their tongue is hanging out because everything is right? Now, usually they haven't been eating and drinking, not because they're starving to death, but because the body doesn't want food and water when it's dying, and the body will start helping prepare itself and make the person not eat and drink, which makes them lose weight, get gaunt, and have muscle wasting. So, because that, their mouth's open, they can look a little gaunt. Here, their eyes are open, but they're not making eye contact. And sometimes their eyes are open for so long, they get a little glossy and weird looking, right? All of that's normal. If anything, that shows you how relaxed they actually are. Other scary things that look scary but really are normal, and it still means they're peaceful. They have changes in breathing, okay? That is a natural thing. You tell I get fired up. That's expected to happen because we all have a blood chemistry, okay? Blood chemistry, and it's supposed to be a certain, between certain numbers for all these different things in our blood, okay? At the end of life, that blood chemistry starts to change because the body is dying and we're allowing it to naturally do that. So the blood chemistry changing changes the way how we breathe. It affects our breathing. The brain is offline, but the body's still going, hey, I'm changing the way I breathe because I'm metabolically changing. You'll see rapid, deep breath. And then a long hold where you're kind of like, are they gonna breathe again? And then all of a sudden they do. That can freak people out, of course. I totally understand why it would freak you out. Add to it, it's your mom doing that, right? I get why you'd be like, hello, why is no one helping us here? My mom is clearly struggling to breathe. That is not true though. What's happening is a very natural part of death and dying. She is not struggling. It's a metabolic change. And there's different types of breath. That breath can happen, so it's usually called Cheyne-Stokes breathing or something like it. Just long pauses between each breath, really shallow breaths, really abnormal, not like rhythmic breaths. And then the last type of breathing would be something called agonal breathing or fish out of water breathing, where it really looks like they're trying to breathe, like they're a fish out of water trying to breathe. Now, the next question most people have is, how do you know? How do you know they're okay with that breathing? Here's how we know. Nonverbal cues, because we have been doing this for a long time, we meaning medical professionals. We see people in the actively dying phase who are not comfortable. And no, they don't wake up and become conscious and tell us or, grab us, nothing like that, but they will become restless. So a dying person is like a baby. A baby will cry differently, a baby will be fussy, a baby will be restless, agitated. You know when a baby is hungry, tired, teething, that is like a dying person, especially during the actively dying phase. They will not lay there comfortably if they aren't comfortable. They will act differently. They will be restless. If you touch them, they will jerk away from you. They may have a furrowed brow, which I can't do because I just got Botox.
Nice.
But you get the picture. So they will usually show us, okay? Now, as a medical professional, if I see someone in the actively dying phase and it looks like they're just really, really kind of huffing and puffing, I'm gonna err on the side of, let's give them some more morphine. Kind of relax them a little bit. But generally speaking, if that's a metabolic change happening in the body, you can give all the morphine you want. They're still gonna breathe like that because it's a metabolic change and their body is automatically doing it. And if they were really quote unquote suffocating to death, you would see it. I promise you, because I have seen people who are struggling to breathe, who are feeling like they can't breathe. They don't look like someone in the actively dying phase. They look very, very different. Okay, so know that it's normal. And of course you feel scared, but I do feel like knowing that it's normal can help you kind of be more present in the moment, because I think it's really important we don't miss that time. This is a period of time in your life and their life that can be really traumatizing or still really painful, but almost special or sacred. You get to be there in their last moments. No matter how difficult it is or uncomfortable it is for you, you still get to be there. And I don't think you'll regret that. Hence why I feel like it's so important we understand what's really happening so we don't miss it. We don't miss the moment. Terminal secretions, the sounds your loved one may be making at the end of life, usually come from terminal secretions. The nickname for it is called the death rattle. Awful name, but it makes sense. You usually hear it right before someone dies. So you know if you're hearing the death rattle, usually it means they are dying soon. And what is it? It's secretions on the back of the mouth that are gathering, because we all are making secretions even right now. Our whole entire life, our body is making secretions from our mouth. It keeps our mouth moist and it makes us comfortable. Our brain all our life is working automatically behind the scenes and swallowing excess secretions. At the end of life, the brain is offline, the muscles are relaxed, somewhat weak, so they are no longer swallowing those secretions, and the secretions build up. There could be a very, very, very small amount back there, but because the mouth is open, right, the person's mouth breathing, that wet breath goes over those secretions, creates a gurgling noise. People hate it. I understand. But please know, again, it's most likely not bothering your loved one. How do we know? Like I told you before with the non-verbal stuff, they're not acting bothered by it. There are some things we can do about it. One, there's medications that can help dry it up. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. We can use a suction machine. We don't like to, because a lot of times introducing the Yankar in the mouth to suction out the secretions causes more secretion production. So it causes more problem. The main thing I say to do, turn your loved one on their side, let the secretions fall out of their mouth, turn them back. Now you're gonna have to keep doing that because the secretions are going to rebuild, but that is all it is, a little bit of secretions. Knowing that, I think, helps people relax a little bit about the noise. No one's drowning on their own fluids. Also, we have to remember at the end of life, particularly in the actively dying phase, it's really easy if it's your loved one to kind of focus on every little teensy move and things, sound they make. Is this okay? Is that okay? Is this okay? Generally speaking, it's okay. Everything that you see is okay. Unless they are screaming repeatedly or being really, really restless, I would say that's not okay. We want to try to medicate for that stuff, right? But generally speaking, a little twitch here, a little twitch there, a little gasp here, a noise here, a death rattle there, all of it's normal and to be expected. And you have to remember that if they look like they are basically sleeping, but they look a little different because they don't look like themselves. They look a little different, but they look like they're sleeping. That is what actively dying looks like. Now, I have shown many videos on here of what real life actively dying looks like, so I can give you real life actively dying examples so you know. But I also think it's good just to openly talk about what's normal, what's not normal. Sometimes you'll see your loved one, doing one of these things. Is that terminal agitation? Is it the death reach? Are they having a little bit of delirium? It could be. We won't really know. What the thing I'd want you to focus on is how long does it last? Do they still appear comfortable? If they still do appear comfortable, let it be, right? For the most part, let things be. And of course, if you have questions, ask your hospice company. Openly talk to your hospice company about what you're experiencing. If you think they need more medication, if you don't, all of it should just be open dialogue. So when a hospice worker or someone says your loved one died peacefully, or that was a peaceful death, and you're like, peaceful? What we mean is they looked normal. And what we don't realize is that most people don't know what a normal death looks like. And that's what a normal death looks like. Your loved one's not gonna look normal, may not really act normal, breathe normal, sound normal. But to us, as hospice workers who see it day in and day out, we know what real life death looks like. So we know what normal is. And I think that's where things get expectations. People have really traumatic experiences around watching their loved one die because they didn't know what to expect. Peace at the end is about how it feels, not how it looks. And I think if you know how it's supposed to look, you'll be able to be more present with your loved one and take something that can be really, really scary and make it a little more sacred.